So, one of the few souls in what has come to me in many ways, very few souls, but the number 3 comes to me, is regards to certain unique souls that are in alignment with similar soul powers and in depth of the shamanic powers and understanding the uniqueness of that and a lot of synchronicities and similarities within my soul's path and who I am. And it's my I am present self and why I've been incarnated through all galactic and universal and earthly realms and time and space here at this time on this planet Earth. And just sitting here in this present moment in the middle of this frequency of my consciousness, the frequency of this illusional space of which I've created by seeing and sitting when we look at our lives in itself as everything is an expression of our own consciousness, our own way, just looking at this time now on this planet. As we live co-creatively, we all share as an expression of life, as expression as a leaf on the tree of life. And the tree of life is the earth itself, as our earth mother, our Gaia. She is the tree, and each one of us as a frequency, as a sentient being here on this planet, whether it's human, animal, plant, bird, insect, however we choose to come to label it. When we look at it that way, aloha, hi, aloha. So when we look at it within an expression of our own consciousness as these 3 beautiful, what appears 2 women and a dog, looks like a female dog for the label of this English word and language, but this what appeared as mother and daughter, and now they're just dancing in the street, which is pretty cool. But in itself, as with everything is an expression of our consciousness, when you see it, and just sitting here, it's in its reflection as to the situation that has been coming, or that is coming, and it's been coming, and is here now presently within our world. We're literally just this phase of unfolding of our conscious evolution, unfolding of space and time, and how it's been written. It is written, as Nako says. Listen to that song, it is written. But as itself and the evolution of who we are as a planet, as a species, as sentient kind here, is our situation where we've all come to, I'm saying situation and energy because I do not want to label it as its name that has been given for what is going around the world, and what is going to take me off topic, but when it comes to a sickness, and truly in itself, you never get sick. You cannot get sick. It's expression of our consciousness. If you tell yourself you're getting sick, you're getting sick in itself. We heal ourselves by the power of our own being, the power of our own light, the power of our own consciousness, individually within the own world and dream that you create, but then collectively, because we all are co-creating here on life and coming back to Mother Earth as the tree of life in itself. We each are a leaf on that tree. So if you look at all sentient beings around this world that are actually put in different continents and countries for those ways that we've given them as its division of life, which is just a division within our own consciousness. Because if our earth is our consciousness, and we used to be in Pangea, all the lands together in itself as one whole big land mass, we were all together as one big land species, as one big human being, as animal, as bird, as tree, as plant, as herb, as fruit, as garden, but vegetables and fruits in itself, all sentient kind, the whales, the dolphins, and the tunas. So as we were all together as one landmass, and then over the evolution of the history that we've told ourselves, and then we've woven within that, we've divided into 7 different continents. And the evolution of this and that, as you look at the way they said the land masses have shifted around this world in itself, and how they're currently still shifting, as lands are rising and seas are changing here and the water's shifting that. It's Earth in itself is our expression of our own sentient being, because the planet itself is alive. So as we shift in our land baths, we shift in our healing, we shift in our waters as our ways of healing. We have this and that growth and rebirth, death and rebirth in itself, where there really is no more rebirth. It's just breath and death and incarnation, because in itself you cannot die. In itself, you're just incarnated as a higher frequency. Another being is some form of an expression on this planet. So the fact that we are actually human beings in the physical body of a human sentient state is the gift. It's the life that you have is a gift, compared to other sentient being that is in another form of consciousness, another form of energy, whether it's an herb, whether it's a tree or a plant or this beautiful bird that are chirping around me, or the flowers. The gift of life is you as the human being, to be able to have that expression as a human being of free will, because in a lot of sense, depending on the level of consciousness with other plants and animals and insects and birds, and have you look at it, they don't have as much as a free willingness to create on such a larger extent and standpoint from which we have been able to create in this world all that we have created, all these different types of vehicles that I see, all these houses and structures and signs and writing, but then all the beautiful trees and this tree of beautiful red flowers in itself, and seeing that pine tree coming up at its top, and the mangoes and the pineapples out here, the mangosteens, it's just all in itself we've been able to create in its way of living here on this planet. So each one of us is a leaf on the tree. Each being is its own little leaf, its own little world of reality, its bubble of reality, because you're incarnated as your own sentient being and within your own bubble of your reality here. But in a way of us coming together is a dream time, a global dream time awakening, the awakening of consciousness here on this planet. We are actually, in its truest sense, like awakening to understand our I am presence. And that I am presence is the collective of one consciousness, the I am, which is just one. You're connected as the one. You're connected. You hear the birds, the plants, the animals, the fruits, the flowers. You hear the ancestors talking within the ancient forests, the grandmothers and the grandfathers. You hear the voices within the winds. In a lot of ways, we've come to label it within that expression of society of those that are, there is within the evolution of our consciousness, and for what it is, I'm going to use the word, a fear aspect of those that try to remain in power of this or that system in itself, the systems of the matrix that we've created, the governments, the banks, the religions, no doubt, no disrespect to any of those institutions in itself, nor to the disrespect to religion, because it's cultural belief system, which is also part of the truth, which is also part of the web of life. So in itself, it still has its own value, its truth along its journey. But there has been different levels and frequencies of the truth that only show you one part of it. So we come to awaken an understanding, and we come together within our collective awakening to one, and not just knowing one part, because it's all of a creation. And everything that I see and do, it's an expression of me within another frequency bubble. I'm creating my bubble in the expression which I see, but you are still here in its perfect equal co-creation with me, no matter how you choose to try, maybe unknowingly or knowingly try to reflect something or project something of your reality onto me. But we are all working and healing through all the DNA manipulation, the timeline genocides, and all the shifts within separations of our soul frequencies, in itself. And wow, but But in itself, you are still there as a physical being on this planet. You are here, each one of us is here as a physical being at this time to go through this collective healing, to go through this change. And we're each going to come to awaken within the true gifts and the powers within ourselves. In the dream time, you're going to awaken to realize that your whole entire life is dreaming, whether you're aware of it or not right now. Every single moment of your life is a dream. It's the global dream time awakening, right, Andrew? But in itself, you come to understanding that as that expression. So you come to realize and desiring to want to support and help in so many ways around this world, or at least I do personally, and I feel that in a lot of ways. You come to awaken the spiritualness within yourself and that desire to want to heal, shift, and change, and by being that change, as Gandhi says, being the change you want to see in the world, is you're creating that own bubble of your own reality. So by you being that present change is that reflection of the change you want to see in the world. And that will reflect out onto others because you send that energy of love and creation to it. And it's been a big, big thing for me, in my present self, in my awakening, in my journey. And what do I want to create, bringing into this new earth? As an equal co-creative sentient being with you, as part of my soul's journey and who I am, and what I've awoken to is the rainbow family, the soul family. For I am the sun. I am the rainbow bridge. And that sun is the son of suns, if you will, as the emergence of the three worlds, that have come to, what was its expression? How did we say it? It was, in a way, of what is coming to me at the moment is the emergence of the three worlds. Basically, three realities. Oh, my beautiful brother explained it nice to me about a week ago or so, or a couple of weeks. I have to reach out to him and see the way he explained it, or really is his expression of me and my consciousness, telling me part of my story as well. For being, it's interesting, for being the sun, for what it is, the sun being, for what it is, the rainbow, the sun, Jesus, that being of collectiveness of all, because all energy, all souls come in and out of the sun. It's the only way energy is exchanged on this planet. The sun gives us life, gives me life, and gives all of you life. As that sun, that energy, a source of creation of life. In itself, in the wombs of waters from which we have come from. That's the sacred womb of our grandmother, of our waters of our earth. That fertility, the rabbit and the moon. That fertility of the sacral chakra, the womb, of which we have come from, which we are born from in itself. So each one of us is born as our own sentient being and expression here on the earth. And you are born as a reflection of what we see right now as a consciousness of a man and woman. And you're coming forth and you're birthing through the woman, through her womb, through her stomach, and through her womb and through her stomach. And in itself, you are walking around in the womb of creation here on earth. You are walking in the womb of creation. You are birthed forth as your skin, your body, made out of the land, out of the mother, out of the living being that is here, as Pachamama, as Gaia, as our earth mother. And more physics and science, and people are waking up to, really realizing that this earth is truly alive in every single dimensional space, in every single way, and all these external tools that come from internally created through our shamanic selves. And they say, so when they say that everything you need is inside of you, it is, because it's all you. You come to awaken within that reality and that dream that this isn't all inside of you. and it's all inside of you. And so for what is going on within this world, this current health healing that we are going through as a planet, it was, as an external projection for what it is, it was created in a lab out of China, in itself. And there's, the ways we've coming to look at the presenceness of our life, and how we look at life in itself, is we've come to take this moment to slow down. And all these businesses and stores and all these things, and the life, the expression of how we are living the style of life that we live in, has come to slow down. And in hopes in so many ways that we're coming to see as our collectiveness. Yes, and I see it, so I'm recognizing and I'm sending this frequency out to the whole collective consciousness, that all of you come to see it too. And you don't need to excuse me, we will stop on that. And I apologize for that non-NVC communication. But as we've come to slow down as this, in these ways of which we have been living on this planet for so long, as externally continuous producing and creating, have come to, in a lot of ways, been being put on a halt. You see us healing ourselves collectively as our own external projection of consciousness, but as that internal reflection, as we've come to slow down our mind, we've come to slow down our consciousness and our being and our way of life. It has come to heal this planet. The waters have cleared. The pollutions have cleared. Over China and many other parts of the world. The animals are returning to the forest. They're starting to sing more. And so are the people as human beings, sentient beings there, singing to other people on rooftops. The canals are cleaning up. Our rivers and our nadi channels are being cleansed. The sea, the ocean, is our consciousness. It's a reflection of our mind. So when the waters are clear, the ocean is clear, and the ocean is quiet and soft. It's a reflection of pure stillness of the mind, purity of our minds. And all the rivers and creeks, rivers, creeks, streams, ponds, lakes, all these names we have come to get them, all the bodies of water, as they have come to clean. We are cleaned within our own consciousness, our own being. And that river, our nadi channel, which is each one of those rivers and streams, nadi channels connected to 72,000 nadi channels within the chakras of the body, are reflected out and are being purified, being cleansed. So as we cleanse inside and we come to slow down our mind, and these waters and things start to clear up within our journey, we start to purify. Our mind-wise and our external projection naturally starts to cleanse the inside. It's an internal, external, reflection, as with everything that you do. And how you're walking in that balanced, pure state of love, and that presence and frequency of love within your life. So this, what is going on is that reflection that you come to see. And if we've come to slow down in so many ways, and Mother Earth and ourselves, we're starting to heal ourselves, within that as an internal, external reflection, projection, and journey of life, that you may also come to want to reflect and heal on yourself, and maintain your activeness, your exercise. Whether it's even some type of physical exercise, or it's even a walking or a jog or a stretch, or if you do yoga or qigong or meditation, or tai chi, Or there's so, jiu-jitsus and many different types of martial arts for what it is. If you have a practice in a way that connects you into the beautiful inner presence and stillness that's inside your being, inside your heart, that stillness, that presence, and that soul frequency from which you have come from, that inner stillness of your frequency, of your soul spark, that God, Christ, that soul inside of you, the lightning God, that spark of life. Because as we're born, as we see that reflection of man, woman, and we're born out of the woman, in its truest sense, a man, woman cannot give life. Only God, creation, the source in itself, gives you life. If you look at the womb, look it up, that, which we're born into this world, in the womb of the woman, in the womb of the mother, there's a spark, which is the spark of life. It's that electricity, that soul spark coming from the sun as an external projection. It's the sun being your solar plexus, as the moon being your womb, your sacral chakra. Svadhisthana, Manipura. So in itself, that soul, that energy that gives all life, when it's ready for you to be incarnated, you're born as that spark into this world to live your soul's purpose. And each one of us has a uniqueness within our soul journey as to what you're here and why you're born in this perfectness that you are in God's image, in the way He made you. So in every way, you're beautiful, you're perfect. So in itself, as we've come to see our journey and expression, we've come to slow down. We observe what is important, what is loving in life. And I know in so many ways, we won't go into that, because that way of healing is something I'm personally working with and healing, and I don't feel like triggering it and having me cry at the moment, because I'm going to stay in this channel and frequency that I'm in, which is many frequencies. But anyways, as we're coming to slow down and we see this of life, we observe our way of living and what is essential. What are the essentials? They say only the essentials are open. So ask yourself that question: what are the essentials of life? For us to create. Interesting. I just saw that vision, but I'm not going to bring that forth into an essential thing of life. Look at our resources, what we're using, what we have, what is essential, in itself. And as our systems come to change, we're coming to slow down and not put so much external reflection, external energy, external consciousness, external action onto all these things within our life. Whether it's this or that, business, this restaurant, this store, or this clothing shop, or just in itself, or all these things in business and things that we've created in itself. We've come to slow down on that, and we're not putting forth that external projection into aspects of the government, into aspects of the banking systems, which in ways we still have elements of our governments and elements of our banking systems, and our grocery stores, place to eat, and gas stations. But in itself is gas. What is the essentials of gas in itself as the gasoline, and that resources and way we've been using it, and come to stop within that slowness of production of it. In its time, it will come to slow down within that. We'll use the reserves that are stored all around this world, and especially in this country. But then we're shifting into other levels and expressions of world, into other alternative resources within our solar powers. We come from the sun. The sun gives all life. and we're using solar power for our electricity at the moment, but in its truest sense, our geothermal is going to be a resource that will completely make a shift in this world using that geothermal energy. But as we've come to slow down and within this world, we're seeing this and that reflection of life and what is important. All these, we're not giving external energy to these systems anymore. Even to using our passport system or our ID or social security number and all these things as a label of expression of it taking your free will or trying to claim you as a sovereign free being. In itself. And in time, at times, depending on your soul's journey and where you're at, we're still trying to be claimed in many ways by many, many things. Interesting. When you talk and reflect on certain things, many, 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 many more portals and energies and visions open up to understand this and that. But in itself, as we come to step away and come inside and slow down within our life, all these things that we give external energy towards are gonna, in its time, start to fizzle away, start to fade away, because we're not going to be externally giving them conscious energy as a reflection of desiring to do this or that, to create this or that, to need this or that. Asking ourselves, what are the essentials? And we're starting to see within the awakening that this is going to shift this and that within the world, and realizing what is important in life. And we're going to start in a much bigger way, starting to respect each other, starting to love each other, starting to reflect each other and accept a lot more. And you ask yourself, what is this or that importance? Is this or that essential? So as we come to accept more, we come to love more, we come to see each other as equals, as a human being. Hey, thanks, I know you just came to take a picture of me because I'm standing here channeling you. You really just wanted me as my frequency conscious presence in your picture. That's the only reason that woman came to the corner and took a picture. Anyways, in itself, trying to catch a moment in time and create it as a woven expression of DNA, conscious reflection and unfolding. But as we've come to slow down, we're not externally putting forth that much energy. So these ways and these systems will be coming down, and we'll start to come back together as a collective and see that, hey, we are one family, and we are equals as sentient beings. We are free with each other, and we coming together as equal, we're coming together as loving each other, that we're gonna not see each other as division. We're not gonna label each other as a country, as a specific background, as a specific language, as a specific country, and not necessarily have all these laws and creations of things of division, of separation. And as we start to come back together in itself, our use of IDs and passports and ways we travel and go around this world and co-create will starting to become down and less, and we'll start building more bridges. And as we build more bridges, we're going to start collectively connecting the land masses, start collecting and building bridges between our consciousness and building bridges between this and that, many different things, just for what this and that is. But we'll start building bridges, not walls anymore. And we'll start to awaken within the power within each one of us and what is important in life. As we build those bridges and we slowly start to come together as one heart again. The land bridge of Hawaii, that Bering Strait, the lands will start to raise as we start to shift within our ways of life, and the land's mass shifting. There'll be shapes in land mass shifting. Our adventure has only begun. My mind is racing, but my spirit is soaring. Right, Nako? But in itself, we'll be coming back to oneness, to one land in itself. And we'll be coming back together as oneness. So, and just with it being the heart of the world, here on Maui, the heart of the world, you will, in itself, be bringing everything to you. The shifts in the families and the people in the land will all start coming back to the center of the world here, and all lands will start coming together. All consciousness will start coming together here in this frequency, here in this space. As we rise and awaken more empowering within our chakra centers, and we awaken together as a collectiveness, as our human beings, on this planet, we will start coming back together and, being as oneness, being together here in the heart. So we've come to shift in this world now, and it's the time for each one of us to go within. Your yoga is off your mat. Your spiritual practice is every day, every moment, everywhere you go. That's the practice. That's the yogi. So whether I come in isolation or I decide to walk around and see an external projection as another human being and another plant, an animal, or a car, or some other form of conscious energetic expression, as long as I walk within a oneness, within that expression in the form of a yogi, then you walk in beautiful love. And it's your choice in itself in many ways to where do I go, what do I do or be. I be me wherever I go. But how I choose to sit in one spot in an isolated space on this or that expression and form of the world, is also in a lot of ways a free will choice. In some ways it is, in some ways it isn't. But it is written, gathering the nations, prepare my relations for spiritual battle. Yet, in itself, it's just love. So, alright, I'm gonna end this channel here and now, or this channeling of recording, let's put it that way, and sending all of you pure love. Aho mtakia yasan. Lugar na te cameo.